about yourself, like, because I know you like everything, a little bit of everything. You just decode everything in life. So can you just tell me a little bit about just your journey, like who you are and what you?
I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. My mom, she was like a middle class woman. Her family's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She worked a long time as a maid at the Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino. And, she just, like any other suburban mother, did everything she could to take care of her 3 children. I didn't really get to see my dad a lot, probably only once a month. He worked at a secret government facility, which, you probably know is Area 51. Mm-hmm. And, he worked there for about 22 years. But my upbringing, I guess you could say, was pretty unique because on one side of my family, I was learning you can't trust the government. And then on my mom's side of the family, a few of my mom's brothers were Black Panthers back in the day. So on both sides of my family, I was learning that, you can't trust the government. But as a young child, I would put that in the back of my head because I was learning the opposite doctrine in public school. So, my real awakening really didn't start until I found out that 9/11 was an inside job after I graduated high school in 2010.
That's right. Ooh, right up
How
on that.
How you feel about that? Look.
Right up on the anniversary.
Now what you feel, you're right. What's your feelings going on right now? You see them trying to still hide it and shit.
You said, how do I feel about what's going on right now?
Yeah, since it's the anniversary, just what's your,
Well, I think that was the spark. The people who tried to get the information out at that particular time, as far as the government's involvement, in that, I think, that got shunned because not only the power of the media, but I just think astrologically it wasn't the right time for humanity to awaken,
Right.
I think we're literally like on some kind of divine timeline as far as our level of conscious awareness. Yes. And at that particular time, I don't think it was lined up astrologically for humanity to wake up. Now you had certain people who were doing what they could to get the information out, but most of it got shunned.
Right.
Now it's completely different. Now people are willing to take up arms and to confront some of these individuals who are involved in these false flags, at gunpoint damn near.
Right.
Because, after people discovered what really went down at 9/11, that was like a trickle-down effect, and it was like a domino effect of, okay, if these people are lying about this, they're trying to cover this up. What else are they lying about?
Right.
And, it just keeps going on and on and on to where people, they have no more faith, they have no more trust in our government.
Right. How did that, like, being that your dad worked at Area 51 and that's already, like a government facility, and realizing this, how do you think your upbringing kind of influenced how you saw the world at that point? Did you, because your dad worked for the government, have any trust already just kind of inherently passed down to you? Or was it like a jarring kind of awakening?
Even before, like, I really realized where my dad worked, like, I always felt in my spirit, like, in my soul, that something just wasn't right. Right. Even going back to when I was 7, 8 years old, my mom used to be a devout Christian, just like most of my mom's family. But when I was in church, like, I would just feel a form of emptiness because, I would look up at the sky at night and I would see, all these stars, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if all these stars are just different suns, they can have planets orbiting around them with life. So does that mean Jesus has to go from planet to planet and, and save the extraterrestrials too?
Right.
Like, I asked my mom that question at 8 years old. So it was always in the back of my head to where I knew something just wasn't right, and I knew that the soul was eternal. I knew reincarnation was real, and I don't know. I just felt like that made more sense logically than what I was learning through Christianity.
Right.
I think that that's something that most kids that grow up, I grew up pretty Christian too, and I remember driving through the desert, driving from California to Texas through like Arizona, New Mexico, and I was like, 5 years old, and I was singing this song like blinking lights, robots in the sky, right? And I turned it into like a little song, and my mom, like, she reminded me of it when I got older, and I realized like, I was already seeing this as a kid.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there was something beyond what we were saying, and I think that that's like, the beauty of like the adolescence and being able to channel and being able to just know inherently, like what's going on before we get this information.
I think as like teenagers and as children, like it was easier for us because we were closer to our natural state.
Right.
And I think we were closer to being aware of the real world, like how nature and the cosmos really operates, because as we become so-called adults, I feel like that's when we experience the most amount of indoctrination. And I think that really throws us off as far as our spiritual mission and our spiritual awareness.
Yes.
The spiritual mission, I'm glad that you just said that. Do you feel like what yours is? Undoubtedly what your mission is, or is it like kind of something that unfolds to you?
I honestly think that we, in our like early stages of life, we attract, like we gravitate towards our life's purpose, like magnetically.
Right.
If that really makes any sense. Like I think, because the brain and the heart is magnetic, and whatever they desire or whatever they really strive for, eventually we're going to attract it. And I think the universe opens up certain opportunities for us to fulfill our destiny. And we can either take action on that, to capitalize on that opportunity, take advantage of it, or let it pass us up.
Well, that's backed up scientifically too. The magnetic field of like the heart, the chakras, the all of that, So that makes total sense that it's like almost like a gravitational pull all up in itself.
Yeah.
And then it kind of it also makes me think of the like we have a universe completely like inside of us, a complete universe already.
Yeah.
On
the microverse.
Yeah.
It's so funny that we just like how you guys brought it up. I hope you don't mind too. We I don't really call us any whatever, but we do a lot. Well, we'll tell you about different things we do with the community, but we do a lot of healing work or energy work, and I've been just pulling cards.
Okay.
And in the background, and like as you were talking and expressing something, you both kind of literally described the cards that I pulled. As far as the chakras, it's literally coming from the head and the heart, and then making certain steps. And you were just describing in the moment when I was pulling it out in real time. It was like just the power of attraction. And then it's just beautiful. I just want to put out there that like I just don't really know what's happening, but it's like I know that we're calling it in and being pulled in the right directions. Because even testimonial like of right now of just having the conversation with like-minded individuals trying to just like decode emotions, it's just that it was just powerful for me just now. So I just wanted to let you know too, I was pulling cards and if that was okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Okay. I did want to ask more about, I don't want to get stuck on it, but the Area 51 situation. And they just changed the name and quote unquote branded the whole, operation there, right? Am I?
Oh yeah, I remember, when I was a young kid, and my dad used to tell me about certain secret military weapons, secret military vehicles that were being created. Stuff that he see, because he didn't work on the inside, he just worked outside the gate in certain guard shacks. But through word of mouth, he understood what was going on underground and inside the facility. So, he would tell me about certain things, and I wouldn't believe it. But then I would see it in movies, and I'll be like, "Oh wow, like that's pretty crazy." And now that I've come into, my spiritual mission and the knowledge that I have, like, I know exactly what's going on at Area 51. They want us to think that everything is extraterrestrial, and it's not even like that. What they want us to think is futuristic is actually ancient. They're digging up ancient archaeological sites and uncovering mummies of giant beings known as the Nomos, the Nagas, the Anunnaki, the Elohim, and they're taking them back to the military base, and they're trying to reverse engineer the carbon, the carbon in their DNA, the carbon in their blood.
Like they do with mammoths.
They're trying to fuse God DNA with animal DNA. The same way the Egyptians, the Atlanteans and the Lemurians did. But they can do it. Our government can do it, but not as efficiently as the ancients did.
That led me, like, right when you were talking about that too, I was about to ask, so how do you feel about, I don't know if this is kind of similar, but like the CERN stuff, as far as them putting out different videos about trying to open up the portals or whatever in Switzerland?
Okay. Like CERN, they have particle colliders that use these small particles known as neutrinos, and when they go at certain speeds and collide with one another, like, they create magnetic fields, and they pull certain, like, they open up actual gateways, actual portals with these like vortexes they create. Everything we see with the physical eye, it's in the light photon spectrum. So, like, if you break down a molecule, it's going to break down to the atomic structure. You break down the atomic structure, it's going to go down to neutrinos. You break that down, and then you get to something called a light photon. A light photon is like a little tiny magnetic field, and it traps these little light orbs, and it gives the light orbs the illusion of matter. So, like, all the matter we see with our eyes, it's nothing but an optical illusion, because these magnetic fields are encasing this light and giving the light the illusion of matter. So, I know that sounds crazy as hell.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, if you break something down past the light photon spectrum, it won't be able to be seen. It won't be able to be seen with the physical eye. So, like, certain spirits, certain ghosts, certain souls that are in purgatory, usually we won't be able to see it with the physical eye, because that soul is living outside of the light photon spectrum. That's why it's called photography, because it picks up everything in the photon spectrum.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I saw a couple of videos of you explaining a lot of that, and it made sense to me a lot too, as like just a sensitive person. But I feel like a lot of people in the world today, and again, when you were talking about like divine timing, I feel like a lot of people that are like under 30, well, like 30 or under or whatever, at least since that time, we have a lot of humans that, even though we don't know what to call it or say this or that, but they're very sensitive, whether it be like, indigo children or different children that the medical world calls them something that they're not. But I just find like lately there's a lot of, people that can feel things that we can't see. I know we only see like 5% of the world, but a lot of people can feel it. So it's like, I love the times that we're in. So it's like people can start discovering these things.
Yeah, that's true. We feel things before we see. I'm glad you said that, because physical sight is actually the weakest, most low vibrational sense we have. Is the sense of sight, and that's why they say, the eyes can fool you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's physical charm or looks can fool you.
Right.
So it's really goes back to the vibration, like what you feel, what you're picking up.
So true. I love that. And then I have just a little fun question I want to ask. Because we talked about it for a second. You said it. But I love when you decode stuff and then just go all deep into it. But like, what's your favorite movie to decode? What's like your all-time favorite? You keep watching it and you see something different every time, and why?
I think it would have to be probably two different ones.
Okay.
The first one would have to be Star Wars.
Okay, yeah. I've literally never seen it all the way through.
I want to say the second one would have to be like the Greek gods and the Kemetic gods. The connection between those two.
Okay. And then, so that one's a movie. That's a good one. A lot of people say Star Wars, and they just keep shitting them out, and they all kind of the same type of things, but they keep on pulling them out.
Star Wars is like the classic. It makes me think of the sine wave and just Aries up into everything growing, and then it just climactic, and then it just seems like it's very just a traditional storyline. But then I haven't watched it all the way through ever. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me to decode that movie of the gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
A lot of hidden symbology there, but yeah, it's just amazing when you really step back and take a look at the misinformation that we were forced to learn for 12 years. Like, there's literally people who got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to make sure that we were misinformed.
Right.
And when I step back, when I realized that, that's what gave me the energy and the passion and the dedication to do what I do, because I'm like, damn, if they're willing to go to that length to make sure, that we don't figure this stuff out, that means that we have some kind of power that's missing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what made me go on this mission, because if you start to look at some of these movies, like Star Wars in particular, a lot of people just look at it like, it's far-fetched, it's fantasy stuff, it's something that only little kids should be interested in. But, if you look on Kemetic walls, there existed a group of wizards and sorcerers known as the Jedi, and you spell that Djedi, and that's where George Lucas got the idea for that name. So the good characters, the so-called good characters in Star Wars, were known as the Jedi. That word comes from the Jedi, and then you have the Sith, who are portrayed as evil. They get their name from the Kemetic god Sith. But when you look at it, you see that George Lucas, he reversed the meaning in the series. What they want you to think are the antagonists are really the protagonists, and the bad guys are really the good guys. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the dark side, you're talking about dark matter, which is carbon, which exists in all carbonated beings on the earth and in the universe. Light, when you talk about light and dark, there really is no struggle between light and dark, because light doesn't exist without darkness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you put on a movie projection in the middle of the day in the sunlight, you're not going to see anything. You're only going to see it in darkness. And, dark matter supersedes any form of light No form of light or energy can escape a black hole, because the black hole is pure dark matter. So it's really not about light versus dark. It's about high vibrations of light versus low vibrations of light. Right. And the deities on this earth, the governments, they want our light on a low frequency, a low vibration.
Right. I love that you said that, because I remember, and this was one of my favorite videos you did 5 years ago. And then you were talking about, it was titled, We Must Unite. And you were basically, saying the same, you were in this same energy as far as having everyone come together and talking about a lot of these things. And I just wanted to touch in with you, since that, that was 5 years ago, and just to see again, check in on your spirit and see where you are, how you feel as far as your message there and to now. That's same.
Okay. What particular video?
It was called We Must Unite. It was like one of the first. It was one here.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. I was like many moons, many videos ago.
It was one of the first ones. I actually remember the street where I recorded that at. But yeah, I think that the people who have awakened, they're destined to have awakened. Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that we have to accept when we go on this journey. We're not going to be able to save everybody with, particular knowledge or wisdom. Mm-hmm. That's just the order of the universe. So the people who have awakened, we just need to start taking action, and we need to start coming together and materializing these thoughts really, really soon, because I don't think we have a lot of time before the people in power, before they make the dollar worthless. That's what I think this whole COVID thing was created to cripple the economy and to move the power over to one digital currency. And I think before that, there's going to have to be communities coming together and establishing resources that will help us survive, without a dollar.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Gotta call Evan in. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's actually, Rajah says it a lot of times too, as far as that's beautiful, Mama us Bear. Needing to, because we have, these ideas that need to, the word you used was materialize, because a lot of the work that we do is kind of, it's like shadow work, but a lot of it is also receiving people whose spirits are awakening and kind of almost facilitating that in a lot of ways, so, because it could be, as I'm sure like it could feel very lonely, like awakening. It could feel really, demonstrative, very, like it can make somebody feel really isolated when they're going through that. And one of, I feel like our missions is to really be there to kind of help people at least not feel so alone. Like I can't direct anybody as far as their spiritual awakening all the way necessarily, you know what I mean? But what I can do is let people know that they're not alone, and that they at least have people who understand what they're feeling. And and so what we do, and we also do it in the form of like we're really involved with art, in the art world, and the frequency of music and just visual arts and stuff like that. And so where we create these spaces, and it was really apparent after the first, maybe even 3 months of working together, that the people that keep coming into our spaces are people whose spirits are on the way to awaken, or are already have. And it's almost like they were seeking some sort of, a word Evan used a couple of times was like sanctuary or church, and it just seems like that's the vibration that we've been able to put out into the world. So people inherit that magnetic field that we were talking about earlier, kind of leads them to that. And so I'm just in awe of that, because you just helped. you just helped right now kind of like put the words to it. So It's deeper for me, but thank you.
No, I'm glad that it flows like that.
Yeah.
And then our name is InnerG too, INNERG, and
Oh yeah, that's the etymology right there.
yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That's another a big reason why, like I said, like when I just hit you out, it felt spontaneous, but like not really, like because I don't know. I feel like a lot what Jazz said, but I feel like I always get, I guess it's guided or called to, and it's crazy because your name is RFG too. It's like the rebels, the sacred rebels, and I literally have that deck out right now. It's just like it's warriors for God, for real, for real. It's like at a point I feel like the chosen, and I don't like to use certain language. I don't want to get lost in what people say, but this is how it's coming. It's like at the end of the day, certain people, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Everyone does have a sacred mission. But there's certain things that like it's time where we're gonna see how divine that is gonna line up because like I said with this conversation, I don't know what I'm gonna say or do, but I know who's supposed to be my right and left hand and who I want to keep building with and keep having these sparks of conversations to build networks because I don't know, I just feel like spiritually we're so protected. We're spread out. So when we find each other, it's like it's like a big spiritual domino. I feel like, I don't know. We're just, I don't know. In this conversation, I just feel like there's 1,000 people that are going to be healed out of just us three sitting here talking. Like, it's like that is how the energy feels for me. It's just, but yeah, thank you. Anyway, yeah, let's see.
I wanted to hear too what you feel your impact is, because I know that you must know that your videos and your voice resonates with a lot of people, but kind of just from your standpoint and like how do you feel that impact is, the responsibility of that?
I pretty much knew, what the outcome was going to be when I decided to go public with the information and the channel back in 2015. I knew I was going to be risking my own livelihood, but I went inside myself and just felt that it was worth it. That it was going to be worth it. I felt like for me to learn what I learned from 2010 to 2015. If I just would have kept that information to myself, I would have felt like I would have been punished by karma, by universal forces. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, that's one thing about me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I do have a guilty complex about certain things. So when I start to feel that, I'm like, you know what? Just let me go ahead and make things right and take action and act on it. So that's what I did. Yes. I teamed up with the individual that I used to work a 9-to-5 with. Mm-hmm. We made a lot of videos together, exposed a lot of things, and it helped both of our platforms. And eventually, we went our different ways in 2016, and we both went on our missions. And I just feel like it's a journey that's been predestined. I mean, that's the only way I can really describe it.
Right.
Again, to follow in that mission, for sure.
And just because I like to lion-tize people, I don't like people to get all big-headed, but I want to tell you this. Like the energy frequency, I did, because when I was just like looking on your page again, like knowing we were having this interview, I noticed like a couple of my other friends that follow you, and then I hit up one of my Reiki practitioners, and then I was talking. She was so excited. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you," and like from touching bases. But she follows you too, and she was just like, "Please let him know that like you're a messenger, basically." And this is one of my like who I go to for spiritual advice and everything. It was two other people that I hit up, and they all said the same thing about you. I want you to know that people pick up your videos and they hear, whatever they need to hear. But I literally heard that you were a messenger for, from 3 different people. And that was just me,
And this is
quick.
throughout the country.
Right. Oh, yeah. They
different places. You know what I
they
mean?
everywhere. New Mexico, Bellatrix. Shout out Bellatrix, girl. I know she going to watch this.
I know.
Bellatrix 369. She follow you. You can look at the, I'll show everybody. I'm going to show you because I don't lie. I just want to let you know. But just the words that, just like the flow of it, the way that it all connected, I want you to know that if you ever feel down, that know that, the shadow work is being done. Different people are getting blessed by, your words. So, again, I want to say thank you. That was cool.
Yeah, I honestly feel like I'm being used as like a vessel. Like, a lot of times I think that when certain ideas, certain frequencies come to me, I just think I'm being used as a vessel, from a higher source.
Yes. Okay, another one. Okay, a random. Okay, another energy that I just had to ask. So because I'm getting this. This is my darker element, but again, I like to lion type people. But I see. I'm just gonna ask this question. What is your favorite video that you made that you feel like is being slept on? Like, people need to know this information because it's good.
That's a good question. That's a
very good question. That's a very good question.
So
because
people know, go watch it.
I think I have quite a few. I think I have quite a few videos. That yeah. Man, I have a series or like maybe 2 or 3 videos titled "How to Break Out of the Holographic Matrix." Yeah, the light photon spectrum. I did that in, I want to say early 2019. So I have that, and I have like some really, really early movie decodes, like the movie Signs, the movie Avatar.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
And I don't think they really got the views that they should have. I mean, YouTube might be lying about my view count. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we don't know.
I believe that. And I see your video a couple of times, like clip it. I know that people like used a clip it that was like from yours. So it's getting out there. So we're gonna take a look back at it. You said how to break out the matrix. I'm gonna look at that. And then Signs. Give me one more, please.
One more. See a video that I don't feel got enough recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 2018. 27. In 2017, I literally predicted the Las Vegas shooting that took place on October 1st, and I did it by decoding the movie It, and the movie Jeepers Creepers 3. I think it's just called It Decoded, but I put the video out in I want to say August of 2017.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I said based off of like the number code of this movie and the whole symbology behind it, I basically said there's going to be a false flag attack between September 22nd and September 22nd and September 29th of 2017, and it ended up happening on October 1st.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy, because I was going to ask a question, which I'm still going to ask it about, like the divination, because I look at everything kind of like spiritually or whatever, and I know that you, just being a historian, you look at it, through logic, and you follow, what's out there. But that's crazy how, I don't know how to even say it, because it feels like some type of sick game that the elites are doing. If you can literally, people like you, that you can see it, they're literally, it's telling us what they are about to do, and so much lives were lost, so much money, so much time, so much, even now, just it's crazy. I don't know.
Well, I mean, from what I've been researching, like there's certain algorithms that can be like looked at and deciphered, and if you just recognize their esoteric symbolism, their esoteric codes, their favorite number codes, you can basically decode, what they're going to do in the future, because I have a Patreon now that's basically like my private platform where I share information, and all three teams that I had winning the championships this year are on track to do it, and I haven't even went public with the information. So it's like, out of all the times for, you know, those predictions to come true, it happened when I switched to a private platform. So what is that saying? Are they like, you know, are they really eyeing what I'm doing? Are they sending spies out to see what I'm doing, what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, they do.
Shit, perhaps,
they
since you
do definitely keep tabs.
Since doing the medium shit, because that's literally how I'm feeling it. Like, and that's crazy that you can ultimately see it through anything you're watching, but that's to me, it still boggles my mind that they really put it just out, even like The Simpsons and all that type of stuff. But it's like, I mean, it's a game, really like a game. They look at it as like,
oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. You got the Simpsons cartoon, and you got the Sims. Remember the video game, The Sims?
Yes, we were just talking about that too, like 2 nights ago. Yes.
Yeah, and then you got this puppet who's a Freemason and who's basically tied to the whole race war agenda in this country, and his name is O.J. Simpson. So his last name starts with Sim.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. And again, the whole magical intent, I'm glad you brought that up too. I mean, because following the numbers and you see, and I mean, I'm a faithful fan of your platforms, but I'm just, here, this is our first time actually chatting. So if anybody hearing it, I want them to, know what a little bit that we're talking about. But I wanted to ask you about the fate of hip hop with all these... Just what you think right now, just as far as maybe just like a prediction. What do you see them doing next? Because I know you know deeper like how entertainment works and how they play little games to get the media flowing in a certain way. What do you just see?
If you really look at hip hop from when it started, in the mid to late 70s to now, I honestly think that in the future, and I'm not exaggerating by any means, but I think that it's going to evolve where they're going to be promoting people to implant like artificial things in their body, because think about it.
Yeah.
They already promoted drug use, pill use, things to alter your mental state and your overall perception of awareness. So who's to say that one of these rappers aren't going to start promoting people to implant themselves with biomicrochips or to get vaccinations?
Yeah.
And they already promote, murder.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be taken to a whole nother level, and it's pretty much already there.
Yeah.
But hip hop stood for higher infinite power healing our people. And that got compromised big time. And I think when Public Enemy and all that conscious hip-hop in the late 80s, I think it was silenced by NWA.
Yeah,
I think,
the start of the gangster rap.
I think Jerry Heller is an agent, or was an agent.
I mean, that makes sense. Just the start of the gangster rap and us killing each other and not looking at, the oppressors and the people power to be. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I remember, like, the movies back then, the TV shows, they would always make the smarter people look weird and out of the norm, and the fuckery that was accepted and was glorified.
Mm-hmm. I thought I got just an image of Steve Urkel in my head.
Me too.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or weird, and they only want us to do what they want us to do. Like they promote being a singer or a rapper or entertainer. They don't want you to be smart and healing your people.
I mean,
food.
They have so much control to a point where even today, like a lot of the people that think they're doing good by joining certain organizations.
Right.
They're only feeding into the trap or the Zionist plan because, like, we're only reactionary. We're only reacting when they tell us to react. We're only getting mad when they tell us to get mad.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even though we got social media, we got all this technology, we got all this wisdom and this knowledge that's coming out, but people are still being manipulated and controlled. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or waiting for the masses in order to really like vocalize what they already, you know, it's like how you actively have to go against the intuitive, you know, call, like, you know, somebody could watch a video and then they push it to the back of their mind because the rest of the world isn't outraged by it, you know?
Yeah.
And then once that outrage comes out, then they can hop on and be like, oh, you know, I've been pissed about this since the beginning. But really, you know, it's the same mob mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. And people think, and it's really deep when you think about it, because even when you talk about reparations, now, indigenous people, and I'm talking about the real indigenous people, I'm not talking about the $5 Indians at all. Basically, foundational so-called Black Americans are owed trillions and trillions of dollars because of hundreds of years of unpaid labor in this nation. But here's my thing. If we really say that we have power, and I mean complete, total power, what is stopping us from coming together and creating our own damn currency?
Right.
We're like, don't you think that we're giving the establishment more power by giving their currency power?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's.
And you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Dr. Malachi Z. York, he established something out in Georgia where he created his own currency, and you know, he ended up getting infiltrated and taken into government custody, and he's been in an underground prison for quite some time.
Say his name again.
Malachi Z. York.
Okay. To be continued.
I would love for you to just dig into this, your point of view a little bit more on just your understanding of the Zionist plan. Like, how do you feel right now? Just
about where they are in their state of plans.
Yeah, just the up to date, because I have a follow-up question just to ask, like, how we would unite and all that. But just to see, like, where you're, you know, just to see how you feel. Their end result.
I feel like I've done my part, you know, from 2014, 2015 to now. And I feel like people are waking up at an exponential rate, which is really, really good. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the big scale of things, as far as the Zionists and the Jesuits' plan for the New World Order, there are going to be more people that get fooled as opposed to the people that detach from the system. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you look at it from that perspective, our generation, we're literally going to see within the next 4 years, guaranteed, we're going to see paper money become worthless, and we're going to see the ushering of a one world digital currency.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're gonna see like more corporations shut down. We're gonna see government facilities get burned down. We're gonna see Capitol Hill and the White House get raided. We're gonna see the Vatican get raided, the British monarchy. And we're just gonna see separate societies that build and establish themselves away from the Zionist monetary system.
Well, I feel like that kind of is already taking place. I think a lot of that was beginning with the coronavirus, like trying really hard. I just was in a drive-through for some coffee today where they didn't take any paper money at all. And yeah, and then everywhere where we're at, I'm in Stockton, California. Everywhere where we are, there's signs all over the place about, you know, the shortage in coins. And how on earth is there a shortage on coins ever? Like I don't know who, there's no way anybody is hoarding all of these coins, you know what I mean, that have been in rotation all this time. So they're saying that there's a coin shortage, and I was just in line today where they said, sorry for the inconvenience, we are no longer accepting
what's happening?
Paper money at this time.
And I think you're going to see a lot more of that within the next 2 to 4 years. As a matter of fact, like if you look at it astrologically, there's going to be an anomaly where the planet Pluto exits Capricorn and enters Aquarius, and that's going to take place in 2023. And the last time that happened was 1776, and I think we all know, you know, what took place in 1776. But I think, I think when Pluto enters Aquarius this time, I think this time it's going to be a global uprising.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you said that. Because our hour is dwindling down, but I'm gonna look at some of our other conversations we had. This is crazy because it's just truth. It's just like we think they're predictions and stuff like that, but like we were saying, like different people can listen and find. We know, like God knows what's going on and pushing the right things. I mean, it sounds. I mean, I don't want to be seeming like doom and gloom, but all of this has to happen. It was supposed to happen. And that's, hey, it is what it is. But where I feel like we're standing, which merges into my next question, as we found tonight, as a fellow healer, messenger, just diviner, I feel like just being a good human. What can you, or what would you like to see in these next, you know, after these biblical crazy times pass, our new beginning after this chaos and destruction? What I want to ask, on a personal tip, what would be like the end result of your missionary work, or whatever? What would you think that heavenly state of the world would be in a perfect world?
I would definitely say for the so-called established order that's you know, been ruling over this earth for the past 2,000 years, for them to be completely eradicated, for them to be completely overthrown. I see a society that will, you know, for once in eons, be able to tap into nature like unmessed with, untampered. You know, for people to learn what it really is to be human. You see, what happened to us as far as these years of indoctrination and enslavement, we forgot our history, we forgot our true language system, we forgot our true knowledge system, our true spirituality. It was all lost. So I think that we are going to have to go back to 0 point and learn what it really is to be human, what it really is to be a sentient being on this earth and in the universe. And that's going to have to take, honestly, that's going to have to take the drop of religion. You know, because I think that everybody's spiritual path is different and unique, and I don't think anybody has the right to govern over someone else's spiritual beliefs.
Right.
And if you really want to get technical, our ancestors, they didn't have spiritual beliefs, they had spiritual knowledge.
Right.
You know, they were such gifted alchemists, they didn't have no beliefs. Like, it was straight knowledge. They could harness somebody's consciousness and somebody's soul inside of an inanimate object and keep it there so that person's consciousness wouldn't get reincarnated. They could open dimensional gateways to make sure that the soul escaped the material realm. You know, I think that's the ultimate goal for any conscious sentient being on this earth. You know, because if you know, a lot of people talk about hell and fire and brimstone, but quite honestly, let's say you passed away and then you woke up in a new body and you had no memory of who you were in a past life. I mean, wouldn't you consider that a hell?
Right.
That's deep. That's deep.
That's so nice that you said that. It's good confirmation too. We just started a podcast this month called How to Be Human Podcast.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's the title.
Wow.
It's beautiful. So we'll send you a link.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo,
Definitely.
deep. We're dwindling down, and I just want to ask on wax, on the record. I love meeting with other Earth angels. I really enjoyed this, and I appreciate you. Can we put you in our master Rolodex to have another conversation? If we could, if the stars align another time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right on.
Yes. All right. RFG, this was good. This was good. Do you have any, and we don't have to leave. I know I only asked you for this hour and I know you were generous in that, but.
Yeah, thank you for giving us your time.
Yes.
No problem. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah, any last messages you want to?
This December, I'm going to be going towards the tropics. I'm going to be recording from there, for about 3 or 4 days. And, come this February, I'm going to be recording from the tropics a lot more. So be on the lookout for that. I also, getting ready to publish a book really soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that should be coming into fruition by the summer of next year.
Oh, Ashe, congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That is what is up. I love that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us your contact information just for the people, if we put this out, your Patreon, so we know again.
My Instagram is RFG_chosen1, the number one, and my Patreon is basically the same. It's patreon.com/RFG_chosen1. That's the number one. Facebook. I tried to delete my Facebook, but I guess the feds wouldn't allow it. I really don't mess with Facebook like that. My email is rfg.theheretic@gmail.com. That's rfg.theheretic@gmail.com.
We got to get off Gmail eventually, y'all. This
I
is
know.
ridiculous.
It's okay.
But yes, I'm still on there too. But eventually we're going to have to get off Gmail.
Well, this was beautiful, sir. And I am going to actually go back and try to decode some of your videos. One of your favorite video. Jeepers Creepers is one of my favorite too. I was like, oh.
Well, thank you so much.
I definitely appreciate it, though.
Yes.
No, thank you. We appreciate you. This was so nice. Thank you. This is, and my last card, my last little thing, it said heaven sent. So, master number 33, I don't know. This moment is heaven sent. So, thank you so much.
No problem whatsoever.
All righty, sir. Well, you have a blessed day.
Absolutely. You too as well.
Thank you. We'll talk.
You too. Yeah, stay vigilant. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep in contact.
For
I appreciate
sure.
the opportunity.
Thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, ancestors, too. As we wrap this out, thank you for just giving us guidance and understanding, and just putting the love out. I keep saying thank you, but I want to say it again because I heard the call, God, and I want you to know that we will deliver your message and keep fighting the good fight. And yeah, bless us and keep us all protected. In your name, I pray. Amen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right, you two have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
I don't want to go. That was good. Good job.
Wow.
Yay.
That was super cool.
That was nice.
Thanks for letting me sit here.
Yeah.